Next, I have, now, this next speaker, let me tell you, she puts the V in vulnerability, okay? She has dedicated her life to helping humanity by first healing herself, which is powerful. She's also the owner of Gigi's Natural Hippie Salve, and I really want you guys to prepare your hearts for the one and only Izzy Black.
Intentional living, one breath and step at a time, is how I activated my power. It's important to know that this is a life practice and it's never a perfect. Have any of you ever felt as if life had a personal vendetta against you? No matter how hard you try to be a good person or do the right thing, you find yourself in front of another hurdle, in the middle of another race. You're tired, but you know you can't give up. Although you've contemplated it plenty of times. And to top it off, these hurdles you are jumping, they're things that are simply out of your control. I have. At 6 years old, I was taken from my mother with my 2 older siblings. Parental kidnapping is what they call it. It was as if I went to sleep one day, a normal kid, and I woke up in a nightmare. Different state, different faces, a different language, or so I thought. Secrets of my past would soon surface. Before I could think too much on that, there were bigger things to worry about. Abuse, mentally, sexually, physically, and neglect. We would be left alone for weeks at a time, and we knew better than to let anybody know. With each year, it was getting worse and worse. By 9 years old, I knew I had to make a change. I asked my aunt, my father's sister, if I could live with her, my uncle, and my 2 cousins. It was that same day I packed the few belongings that I had and I left. I was so excited. I was finally going to get to be part of a real family again. I was showered with love, structure, shelter. They even added an addition to their home so that I can have my own room. They really loved me. They were filling all of the voids that I thought would make me feel as if I belonged, but I didn't. By 11 years old, everything was spiraling out of control. I was filled with anger, confusion, bitterness. I would have anger outbursts so bad, and nobody could understand why. Clearly, I had everything that I didn't have before. It didn't make any sense. This is when my shame started to set in. I knew I had so much to be grateful for, yet I felt so guilty leaving my 2 siblings behind to suffer alone. I knew I was the baby, and I could sometimes be able to charm my way out of us getting a beating. This is when my insecurities started to show up. I convinced myself that it was only a matter of time before my aunt and my uncle gave up on me. They didn't, but I did give up on myself. 1 month before turning 13, I made a decision to move out of my aunt and my uncle's house and enter the world of hard knocks. By 13, I was clubbing in Mexico, gang banging, using and selling drugs, in and out of juvenile detention center, giving my body away. By 14, the state of Texas decided it was time to send me away to a girls' correctional farm in Tyler, Texas, till I was 18 on good behavior. I'm not a big fan of people telling me what I'm going to do with my life. So I found a way to escape and run away 1 week before they were to send me away. After being homeless for a couple of months, I realized I was stuck. I turned myself in and was given one last chance, but it had to be out of the state of Texas. So I moved in with another aunt and uncle in Aurora, Illinois. Again, showered with love, shelter, and structure. But I still didn't feel fulfilled. So against my agreement with the courts, I moved back to El Paso, Texas, this time inspired to do better. A couple weeks, I got there and I enrolled myself into school once again. A couple weeks after starting school, I was pulled out of my classroom and given my discharge papers. I was told I can go home and I did not need to come back. When I asked why, my teacher said he wasn't sure and that he didn't agree, but it was out of his control. Then he told me that the principal had said that I was wasting mine and their time by being there, and that I would never make anything with my life. He said he was telling me this with the hopes that I would prove her wrong. At 15 years old, I walked out of that high school and I never looked back. Clearly, education was not for me. The following year, at 16, I was preparing to be a mother for the first time. I didn't know what I was going to do. The only thing I knew is that I was not going to put my child through what I had to go through. The only problem is that when you don't know what you're aiming for in life, you are bound to manifest everything you are running from. What is your why? Fast forward many years and many experiences later, November of 2017. I was simply no longer satisfied with just being a good person in life. I wondered what my life could look like if I just put a little more effort into every single thing that I do. I named it intentional living. What that meant for me was to do everything on purpose, with purpose. I had to sit back and ask myself, what am I doing all of this for? What have I really been trying to accomplish in my life this far? And why? I started to meditate and listen to podcasts and sermons, motivational speakers, and it quickly started to become more and more clear that what I was seeking in life was way bigger than me or any of my experiences. I had a commitment to heal my family by first healing myself. On my third year of intentional living, God put it all to the test. I was diagnosed with breast cancer and would also find numerous cysts on my cervix and ovaries, one the size of a cantaloupe. My oncologist told me to expect the worst, as we all feared the cancer had spread. Thankfully, it hadn't. But for 4 months, I lived with the possibility that this could be my reality. That is when my life of gratitude began. You see, when you choose to be grateful, nothing can dim your light, not even cancer. I thanked God daily for the many blessings in my life because there were many. And I thanked Him for all the beautiful people I had encountered because there were also many. I promised God I would find beauty in every single day and that I would not complain, and I didn't. I promised I would continue to serve His people through this. But most of all, I thank God for my husband and my children, and that He allowed me to raise my 3 babies before I had to fight this battle within my body. I had accepted death gracefully. What am I surprised during meditation? God told me I was not going to die. In fact, He said I would just begin to live. All I had to do was my part. In that moment, it became very evident to me that just because I was breathing didn't mean that I was alive. Just because I could feel and I could see didn't mean I was aware. And just because I am talking and doing doesn't mean that it has purpose. It's when we get tired of merely existing and surviving in life that we start crying out for guidance and clearance and meaning. Pause. Breathe. Meditate. Seek within yourself to figure out your why. Release what no longer serves you. Determine who you want to be in this life, and then be it. Figure out how you can serve daily. Be sure to pause as many times as it takes to ensure that every single breath and step that you take has an ultimate purpose. Be committed to doing your part, even when other people aren't. Show gratitude to what is for exactly what it is. And please, 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 give yourself grace every single time you fall short. My goal today is to help you all activate your power. My hope is to inspire you all to pause, breathe, acknowledge, give thanks, and give back. I wrote a poem for you all, and I would like to share it with you now. May you all be blessed in your mess and not with stress. May your growth overflow. Be intentional, and it won't flow slow. Acknowledge truth, whether fear, strength, or weakness. Staying in gratitude is honestly all that it takes. So start right now, right here. And what was cloudy will soon become clear. With a simple pause, a deep breath in and then out, intentional living is what it's all about. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. How many know that it is your why that, when discovered,